Deep within an unknown cave, a man lay motionless on the cold stone floor. His white t-shirt was torn to shreds, and his black pants were covered in dirt. His yellow skin was scratched and bloodied, and his normally bald head was speckled with soot and ash. The tips of his hair were slightly singed, giving him a wilder look. 8 deep wounds pierced his chest and stomach, evidence of the evil pieces he had ripped from his own body. No reincarnated devil had ever survived this before. This broken figure was once known as Homer Simpson, the host of the Red Dragon Emperor, Dreg Goch. But lately, most knew him simply as the Opie Dragon. Once a perverted yet brave soul with a dream of becoming a harem king, Homer had devoted his life to protecting his friends, even those who now had betrayed him. Even Bart Bale and Gatsby, his close friends, had drifted away. Homer worked day and night, not for recognition, but to buy rings to propose to them. It was to be a surprise. He had learned to forge rings by hand, each one personalized in color. For Marge, red. For Aquino, raven black. Each gem carved with hope and trembling determination. But the surprise turned to ash the moment he saw Marge and Aquino kissing another man. His hands trembled, crushing the velvet ring case in despair. The same scene repeated with each of his so-called lovers. Even little Majiko clung to a pretty boy, unrecognizable in Homer's broken gaze. His heart shattered more each time. Homer Simpson stepped out of the cave and glanced up at the night sky. It was still dark, and though he pondered how long it had been since his transformation, he quickly dismissed the thought. After all, he doubted anyone was looking for him. Without hesitation, he headed to a nearby lake and dove in with a loud splash. Moments later, his head emerged from the surface. Floating lazily on the calm water, Homer contemplated his next move. What should I do now? Azazel-sensei is probably still busy, just like the other faction leaders. I'll think about it later, he muttered. He swam to the shore and realized he hadn't yet taken a good look at his new appearance post-transformation. The tightness of his pants on his now longer legs told him he had grown. Curious, he gazed into the lake's surface. His hair, now darker and longer past his neck, shimmered with a silky texture. His once goofy face had become sharp and handsome, almost unreal. His smooth skin glowed softly in the moonlight. His eyes, now wine red with slit pupils, gave off a fierce aura. Eyebrows thick and sword-like framed his intense gaze. Black claw-shaped tattoos adorned the corners of his eyes. Every feature on his face appeared sculpted, his pointed nose and full lips enhancing the chiseled look. He even wondered if the gods themselves had crafted his new face. Although his frame remained lean, the outlines of defined muscles, especially his toned six-pack abs, were evident. His baby-soft skin gave them a soft sheen. If he bulked up, he'd have the body of a god. Homer glanced downward and gasped. "Damn, is that really me?" he shouted. He started touching and pinching himself, confirming it wasn't a dream. Ouch, it hurts. So it's not a dream. Along with that realization came the painful truth. Everything that had happened was real. The betrayal, the heartbreak, especially from Rias Gremory. Though a flicker of love still lingered, it was quickly replaced by rage and determination. I'm hungry now that I think about it. Luckily, there's tons of fish here. He dove back into the water, caught some fish, and began cooking them, using his newfound fire breath. At first, he burned them to ash, but soon he got the hang of it. Though the fish weren't gourmet, he devoured them with gusto. Satisfied, he thought about his next steps. I should probably leave a message for Azazel-sensei. As for Kiba and Gasper, better they don't know what happened. They've been through enough. He returned home to an empty house and didn't care much either way. In his room, he ordered clothes online. Homer had already recorded a video and left a voice message explaining everything before his transformation. A flash of light signaled the arrival of his package via teleportation. Inside was his new outfit, a jacket with white fur around the collar and a red dragon motif on the back, a black sleeveless shirt, tight black jeans, fingerless gloves, and brown combat boots. He looked absolutely badass. As he adjusted his new gear, a black rift suddenly opened beneath him. "What?" He fell through, and silence returned to the room. When he opened his eyes, darkness surrounded him. Is this a dimensional rift? Did Ophis or Great Red do this? He wondered. A sultry female voice echoed. Nen. Oya, still alive, boy? What are you doing here? Nen. Who's there? Show yourself, Homer shouted. Nen, how rude. Shouldn't you introduce yourself first? You may call me Lady Death, she purred. Homer Simpson stood silently, confused when she didn't respond to his outburst. Her face appeared blurry in his vision, and he scratched his head. Weird. Why isn't she saying anything? Is she mad? Nah, she doesn't look mad. Tisk, if only Drake were awake. I can't even use boosted gear like this. If she decided to attack now, Homer knew he wouldn't last 10 seconds. He had no control over this new dragon-like body, and only knew he could breathe fire. Boosted gear might help him survive a little longer, but he understood it wouldn't save him if she truly meant harm. Heh, if this is the end, so be it. At least I've tasted real freedom, even if just for a moment. Just then, she spoke again. I see. Say, Homer, don't you think I'm beautiful? I'm not bragging, but millions of men want me. Don't you feel the same? Don't you want me to be yours? Despite disliking lustful gazes, she couldn't help feeling irritated that this man, who intrigued her, didn't seem affected by her beauty. She was caught off guard when he finally answered, and Homer nodded slightly. You are indeed beautiful, one of the most beautiful women I've seen. But that doesn't mean I want to make you mine. You make it sound like all men are the same. I'd never force love. It would never last. I want someone to love me for who I am, not what I am. He wondered if Rias and the others ever loved him, or if they merely clung to him for being Drake's host. Maybe love had never truly been part of it. He was afraid that love would betray him again. His heart, once open and eager, had been scarred by one-sided feelings and silent betrayals. Unbeknown to Homer, Rias and the others still loved him. But their inexperience, fear, and pride led them to make choices that pushed him away. They should have asked for guidance, sought advice, but instead they tried to gain experience with others, believing it would help them understand Homer better in the long run. Their new boyfriends, however, began to show cracks. Some ignored them, others grew distant. The spark they had hoped for began to flicker, and as they realized the truth of their feelings, they feared it was already too late to repair what they had broken with Homer. Back with Homer, the woman's thoughts froze when she heard his words. They echoed her own desires. When she came to, she noticed the melancholy in his face, the shadow of betrayal. And then, before he could react, she kissed him. A soft, passionate kiss. Lips, meeting lips with no tongue, full of silent emotion. Homer pushed her back, his voice loud. What are you doing? She didn't reply, and instead kissed him again, this time with fiery passion, tongues intertwining. She held his head close, refusing to let him go. Homer struggled, but couldn't break free. Her strength overpowered him, and when they finally stopped, a loud pop echoed. Both of them panted heavily. She licked her lips and whispered, Homer, would you be mine? I can give you power, anything you want. Homer felt shame, not because of the kiss, but because he, a dragon of dominance, had been overpowered. Her words reminded him of Rias, igniting a flicker of rage, just as he was about to snap. Not Rias Gremory, and be careful. Anger her, and you might die without knowing it. You told her not to treat all men the same. Don't treat her like the women who hurt you. Drake's voice echoed in his mind. I won't be anyone's possession after earning my freedom, he told her firmly. NNSHE was shocked, even desperate. But why? I won't restrict your freedom. I just want you to stay beside me. Indy Drake intervened aloud from Homer's hand, green light flashing. My partner's been through a lot recently, milady. She softened, recalling her own pain. I understand, Homer. You don't have to share anything now. But know this, I've been betrayed too. I'll wait, no matter how long it takes. Her eyes were full of compassion, and as she cupped his face gently, Homer's tears welled up. He broke, sobbing, unable to hold back years of heartbreak and betrayal. She lay him gently on a conjured bed, letting his head rest on her bosom as she stroked his hair. What a poor child. So young, already burdened with pain no one should bear. Indeed. No one deserves such pain, Milady Drake replied solemnly, and NSHE looked at Homer as he slept, her expression tender. Now, Sikuyute, I have a question. Don't worry. I won't ask about his past. I trust him to tell me one day. But tell me this. Why do you pretend to be a man? From your voice, it's clear. When we met, you were a hatchling and a girl. So why the change? We've reached the end of another video. If you want to see the continuation, just leave it in the comments and subscribe so you don't miss any videos on the channel. And don't forget to say below where you're watching the video from.